We start as fools, right, and become wise through what? Experience. Meaning we all start ignorant in the process. If you start a new job or take a new course in learning something, you're not going to learn if you think you're already wise. You go into every new venture as a fool, ignorant, to be taught what you need to know. Because if you're already wise in it, then you are truly a fool for wasting your money to sit in a course or a class or take some type of training you already have. Isn't that right? Yes. So everything we do, you have to go in. It's like the old saying in the Chinese teachings, empty your cup. When you go on a new training, empty your cup. That means pour out all you think you know, that you may be filled with more of something new. Yahshua said it like this: you cannot pour old wine in a new bottle. Right? New wine in an old bottle. Or the old bottle, he said, will burst. Because bottles back then were made out of what? Skin. Or the lining of the stomach. So after a while, it would be what? Warm. So that new wine, because wine does what? It ferments, right? Which means it expands. It will bust that old bottle. So new wine has to go in a new bottle. New knowledge must always go in a new vessel. So every time I read something, study something, I read and study it like I don't know it. Even though I may have that much knowledge of it, I don't know it. Because there's something more I can get out of it. And then once you learn, you need what? The experience of what you've been taught. So true knowledge comes through experience. Wisdom is only acquired through experience. Let's look at this word experience, because we think we all have experience, but really we're continuously experiencing. They said, what is the best teacher in life? Experience is the best teacher, and it is. All right, let's break this word down.
Experience. Observation as the source of knowledge. Actual observation. Observation. To hold to a manner of life or course of conduct. Carry out the dictates, orders, principles. Attend to and practice, to keep, follow, to observe, do, carry out, fulfill. Pertaining to acts or an action. Active, a doing.
All right. I see. So experience is what? Action. It is doing something. It is something that is done. So knowledge comes after what? Something that is done. You don't know how to do it until you have done it. Experience is acquired wisdom from following a course of orders and principles. Now understand the word course. Course means a period of time. If you take a course, is it a one-time course? No, a course is done over a period of time, right? So it takes time to gain what? Experience. I was taught and trained, and I loved it, and still love it, in the ancient skill of massage therapy. I love anatomy, and I love studying about physiology. But what gave me the knowledge and gives me the knowledge of that to this day is my constant experience of actual hands-on. You don't know the human body and how the muscles really move. You can look at the diagram of the muscles, but you don't know those muscles until you have touched, pulled, kneaded, punched, and stretched. Then you understand how the muscles actually work throughout the body. That gives you experience. So the more I do this, the more I learn. I use you, for example, Baba.
Oh, yes, sir.
Baba Musa comes to me on a constant basis.
Yes, sir.
The first time I had to learn his muscular system and his skeletal system. But now I know from experience of working on him for a period of time,
Yes, sir.
his body, where his muscles are, how they respond and react to certain stretches and certain movements I make in digging into the muscle fiber. All of that comes from experience. It's like you who are mechanics who work on something, like Brother Kamal. When you work on something over and over, he get the experience. So when someone tells him now they have a problem with certain things electrical, he may not have to touch it now. He already knows. Just from looking at it or from the description he heard, what is the problem? He knows exactly where to go. You don't have to break down a whole lot anymore. That's what experience does. It gives you knowledge. Are you with me now?
Yes, sir.
And experience comes only after the act or actions have been fulfilled, completed. We want to know a lot of stuff, learn a lot of stuff, and dig into a lot of stuff without any experience. And we never complete the full course. Why? Because if I said a few times before, we jump from so much studying different courses, we don't finish one course. And if you don't finish one course or complete a study, you're in a state of what? Confusion. Isn't that right? They said to learn a language, you have to study one language at a time. That's true. Try studying several languages at a time. It will confuse you. You got to finish one course at a time. All things are meant to be. Your experiences in your life are meant to be. The problem with black people, most of us, we run from our experiences. So therefore, we never get what? Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. We run from our experiences. There is no luck. There is no chance. There is no coincidences. Everything is meant to be. Why are you here? Why am I standing here? Why will you be in the next place you'll be in the next moment? Everything in your life already planned out. It was written. It was meant to be. Wow. What is the course of the SUAN? It was meant to be, but what is your experience? What is our experience? And where is it going? See, your experiences are also what you make them. They are to take place, but they're what you make them to be. And if we are not knowledgeable in each experience, we cannot make it possible for such and such to take place in our lives. So we miss out. Right. In other words, the Most High says this in the book of Malachi 3, 8 through 10. He says, do what with your tithe? Store it up in the storehouse, right? And he said, I will open up heaven like a window and let it rain down like rain. In other words, your finances will greatly increase. Didn't I say it? Do we believe it? Yes. But we have not yet experienced it. Because we haven't done it. Y'all get it? Freedom, justice, and equality is right before our fingertips. But freedom, justice, and equality is our experience. You can't ask a white man for your experience. It's our experience, but we have to make it what? Happen. Take place. All right, let's continue in that definition of that word experience. All right, let's continue breaking it down. Okay, Brother Sekou.
Experience. An event happening which has affected one.
All right.
Trial, proof, knowledge gained by repeated trials.
Come on.
To try, to test, risk.
Did y'all catch that? So what is experience? Trials, tests, and risk. I told you black folks don't like the experience, Baba. Because trials mean you go through something hard. Test means you're put to what you say. And risk means you're taking a chance because you cannot physically see the outcome, but spiritually you're supposed to believe it. So black people want a lot of stuff. We want a kingdom, and we talked about that kingdom building. Yeah. But kingdom building comes through trials, tests, and risk. So when I told my wife that Friday, I came home. And the more I'm standing around white folks as before, again, I'm getting some more experiences. And the more I hear Caucasians speak, Caucasians do things by taking risks. That's right. True. They take risks. They do. Yes, when you listen to them carefully about businesses and what they do collectively, individually, and what they want to build, and you're looking at them and they're saying, I know it's going to take a lot. Or I have to do this, or I have to do that. You hear that come out of their mouth, But you still hear them say, I'm going to do it. They're going to take that risk. We don't want to risk anything. We just want it.
That's true.
When Elijah Muhammad took the risk of building the Nation of Islam, he put his life in jeopardy, his wife's life in jeopardy, and his children's lives in jeopardy. He took a risk of losing his job because he worked at a what? Automobile factory. That's what they went to Chicago for. They migrated to Chicago because that's where the automobile industry was at the time, right? So he worked in the automobile factory.
Yes, sir.
He took a risk. He taught his people, you don't fight the enemy's war. So when the devil gave him a draft letter at the age of 46, Elijah said, I'm not going. He took the risk of what? Going to jail. And guess what? Y'all seen the photo where the white man got him locked up, got the handcuffs to his hand, the FBI taking him, walking him down the street, taking him to jail. You have to take a risk. But because he took those risks, because he had that experience, because he had those trials, because he was tested, what was the outcome? The Nation of Islam. And no one after he built his nation could touch him. White man wanted him dead, but they couldn't touch him. Why couldn't they touch him? FBI said, we don't know how many temples were in America. We don't know the count of how many people belong to the Nation of Islam, and we surely can't determine what the FOI going to do if we touch the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They said in their report, we have to wait till he dies.
That's what they did.
Bingo. And they went to the weak one, the son.
His son, yeah.
But the experience comes from you taking the risk. And that's what we don't want to do. All of the knowledge you receive comes from what? Repeated actions. Isn't it up there?
Yes.
You don't get knowledge from a one-time experience. Your experience in what you seek, it must be over and over and over and over and over, because they say if you repeat a word 14 times, you shall remember it. But it must be repeated 14 times. If you can't remember a person's name, if I met Brother Kamal one time and I wanted to remember his name, Kamal. If I repeat it 14 times to myself, it remains in my psyche. So when I see him again, I'm going to automatically know his name. Repetition is what it takes. In a martial arts class, you don't learn a punch one time. You learn it by constantly repeating that punch. Being instructed why your punch is too low, too high, too weak, not fast enough, too slow. Repetition gets you to the point. That's what we need to do. We need to repeat doing things over and over again. But first, as a people, we got to start doing it one time. Because we haven't really started.
Right.
Let's go to Surah 29. This is what experience is. Everything in life is an experience. The SUA is one of your experiences. Something else is another experience. Something else is another experience. But you won't get the knowledge you seek here or there until you what? Take the chance, take the risk, and go through the trials. Let's look at what the Quran says.
Surah 29:2. Do people think that they will be left alone because they say, we believe, and they will not be tested?
Isn't the Quran beautiful? Do you think that the Most High, this is what it's saying, will just leave you alone? All because you say you believe and you will not be tested? You're going to be tested on your belief, because your belief is also an experience. Every day you claim, you pray or you read or you study or you meditate, that's the experience of your belief. Now you got to go through the test of that to get the true knowledge of what you believe in. That's powerful, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Why do you think the Bible is filled with telling you that all of the Most High's children, prophets and prophetess, what did they went through? Trials and tribulations. Not a one that you read about did not have a test or trial or tribulation. Name one. Start from Adam and go to the book of Revelation. Every person in that book, they threw Daniel in the lion's den. Isn't that right? Noah had to save the world. Joseph was a slave. We can go on down the list. Jeremiah was almost murdered by his own people. He had to run from him. Jonah was swallowed by a whale. What is it all this? Whether you believe it or not, it's telling you, you're going to go through your days with a whale. Something great is going to swallow you. That's going to be your experience. That's what it means. It's symbolic. It's representing something. David had to fight a giant. After what? Being ridiculed that he wasn't man enough to go to war. Tests and trials. So David said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. That wasn't a one-time experience for David. Every day you wake up, just about you're going to walk through some type of valley.
That's the truth.
That's your trials, your tribulation, your hardships, your tests. But you got to pass through. David said, although I walk through this valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. Get a group of black folks together and say, let's do. What's the first thing to come over us? Fear. Baba said it before I'm pointing in his direction. He said it before I got fear. Fear overtakes us. Well, what if it's always that great Negro what if? Where's the positivity in it?
That's right.
We always come with the what if. You have to take that risk to get the experience. We want businesses. The reason most black people fail in business, Baba, is because we don't have no experience when we get into it.
That's right.
Because when someone was trying to give us the experience, we didn't want to take the risk. So later on, we figure I'd just do it by myself. Fail every time because we don't understand how the business operates.
That's right.
Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
It takes money.
To make money.
What did Yahweh say? If you store in the storehouse, boom, we ain't got it yet.
That's right.
It takes money to make money. Money don't just appear. Bingo. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Let's move on. You will not say you believe in anything, says Allah, and not be tested in what you say you believe in.
Right.
Isn't that right? I believe in massage therapy. I believe in good health. I believe in staying fit.
That's right.
So the Most High said, now go through your experience.
Yeah.
And the Most High took me through a terrible accident, paralyzed me from the neck down, and made me experience what I've been saying.
That's right.
See, that's why you got to look at life. I didn't look at it as something dreadful. It happened. Now, what am I going to learn from this experience? I had to learn to use my mind as I've been teaching others. See, you're going to tell people stuff, and then you're going to be put at the test.
That's right.
Because before I got hurt, I was in the business. Health and massage therapy. And I was telling people, it's all in the mind, and you have to learn to use the mind, and your body self-heals, and the Creator can do all. I was telling them all that.
Yes, sir.
Until the Most High took me and put me on my back.
Man, you got experience.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And I had 12 doctors. And those doctors were saying, Mr. Jackson, you'll never walk again. You're going to be paralyzed from the neck down. And literally, they rode a wheelchair in my room. And the wheelchair on the left side had all this little gadgets, how to operate it. Because I got feeling in my left hand. And they were going to train me and help me in therapy to use my left hand. And if somebody would have to strap my hand to the chair so it stay on because I didn't have no muscle power to hold it up. So it had a little strap. And I would take my fingers and I'm supposed to maneuver myself around.
Yes, sir.
I was put to the test. That was my experience. Not yours. Mine. You have yours.
That's right.
You got it?
Yes, sir.
You don't live off of nobody else's experience. You have to live off your own experience. So that is what took place. Every experience comes through tests. So, brothers and sisters, we should build this and we should do that. But in order to build this and in order to do that, we got to have some type of experience. Sitting here and listening to Dr. Jackson isn't enough.
Right.
Listening to Dr. Sabi isn't enough.
Right.
Listening to Minister Farrakhan isn't enough. Listening to this bishop, that pastor, this priest, or that priestess isn't enough. You can listen all you want, but until you get out and do it,
That's right.
Why did the Nation of Islam, or why do the Nation of Islam have brothers on the corners, spring, summer, winter, and fall, selling papers? They cannot build a nation until they experience what it takes to build a nation. And through their experience, they become what? More dedicated with that nation. That's what we don't understand. Work makes you dedicated to your experience. All right? Let's move on. We want stuff, but we don't want the experience of getting it. Because experience also means work. Right?
Yes.
If somebody say you're experiencing something, that means you have a work history of it. All right? Or a working history. Yes, sir, brother Sekou, the man of nature.
An unwise society will fail to teach its citizens the difference between knowing experience of a reality and believing acquired information.
Read that one again, brother.
An unwise society will fail to teach its citizens the difference between knowing experience of a reality and believing acquired information.
So there's a difference, right, in knowing through experience and in believing just through acquired information. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
The reason a lot of young brothers and sisters don't understand the experience of our ancestors and elders from yesterday, like when we worship and praise and thank the Most High, or hear a song and get in the feelings and the emotion of it, the reason they can't understand that is because they only have acquired information. They don't have the experience of the suffering. They don't have the experience of the hardships. They don't have the experience of being without. So they don't have the knowledge of what we know. Y'all with me?
Yes.
Because even in this day and time, with the little money we have, most black parents put more money on the child than in the home or in their education. So we're spoiling our children, and our children are not getting any experience of life. So they're becoming spoiled because they don't know what it means to be without. They don't know what it means to eat what is cooked. They don't know what it means to wear what is handed down. They don't know what it means to play outside because I can't get an Xbox. They don't know what it means to cut off the TV and go to bed, or the TV cutting itself off. Some of us remember those days, right? See, the children don't remember that anymore. So our children are being dumbed down and becoming weak because they have no experiences. Isn't that right?
That's right.
Hey, Brother Kamau shared with me about his son once and the training he was getting. White folks take their sons out. I'm listening to them again. These crackers, it's hunting season. They hunting every week. They got the children out there. I'm listening to them talk. One of them got grandchildren, my son and my grandsons. We go out and we got to watch them though, because we're training them. How many black children know how to shoot a gun?
Very few. You know how to shoot each other.
So when they get a certain age, because they don't have the knowledge nor the experience, they get guns from the street. And without knowledge and experience, they point it to each other. Because they don't have the knowledge of who they are, and they haven't gone through their experience that we have gone through of the racism, because we got them blinded by diversity.
That's right, diversity.
Thinking everybody is the same. We all one nation. Isn't that right? But this is the trick. Our experiences is what made us a people back in the day. Black folks at one time had the same experiences. Read your history. We all went through the same thing. And the white man, y'all got to understand, this is a wise man. This ain't no fool for real. That man studied us. They all got the same experiences. So let's do this. Let's pull her out of that experience and let's put her here. And let's pull him out of that experience and let's put him here. And they in turn would turn around and say to them, my experience is not your experience. I got mine, you get yours.
Master,
That's what it was about.
Master tree. Yes, sir.
And it's still working today.
Amen, though.
I said something to a brother not too long ago, a few weeks ago, and the brother and I had just met and we were talking, and I said something about racism, and the brother had the audacity to try to tell me, no, brother, it ain't like that no more. So you know what I did, right? I told y'all when I talked to ignorant person, I shut up.
That's right.
So I shut my mouth.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for my time to now move. There wasn't no more I could say to him. Because in my mind, I said, what you said, nigga? Did you tell me racism was not... You know, you got to catch yourself. Did you say it's not this? I wanted to say to him, and y'all know, I'm not speaking of black man anymore. I thought I approached a black man, but my experience in life told me that when they come this way, they're no longer black.
All right. Yes, sir.
So I was ready to do an Esther on him, honey. Nigga, what you say?
All right.
But that comes from a lack of what? Experience.
Yes, sir.
That's where we are today.
That's right.
It's our experiences that the ancestor had that made them so strong in a tight-knitted community. We don't have the same experiences anymore.
Not at all.
See, at one time, everywhere we went, we got the same treatment.
Yes, sir.
We all saw the color sign. We all had to go around the back door. We all sat at the back of the bus. We all went to the same black school. Isn't that right?
That's right.
And we all had the same black what? Teachers, friends, communities, preachers, politicians, etc.
Yeah.
Now they have figured out how to break you up in divisions into cliques.
Lynch 'em.
Bad.
And we no longer have that experience. It's like the Black Caucus.
Yes, sir.
Somebody tell me what good is the Black Caucus? What have the Black Caucus done? Somebody tell me one thing. I've been asking this for years. Tell me one thing the Black Caucus has done. What have they been noted to have completed?
Absolutely nothing.
Fight among themselves.
Just,
Nothing. And the reason they're not doing anything, because once they cross that line and they've been pulled out, they no longer have your experience. So when you complain, they don't know what you're talking about, because they either have not lived it because some of them are too young, or the older ones have forgotten. I don't have that experience anymore. America has been good to me.
yeah.
I'm up in Congress.
Yeah.
I'm in Washington.
I'm a big time nigga.
They pay me good, big time. Nigga.
Big time.
When I die, my wife is taken care of.
Yeah. Don't y'all step on me.
My name shall be remembered in all the American history books. Black Caucus. And the GD, I said that the Black Caucus represent the Black Caucasians. That's what it means. Caucasus Mountains.
Come on.
Isn't that right?
That ain't in the book.
We need our experiences. So there's a difference. An unwise society will what? Not teach their people how to experience things.
That's right.
A wise society must teach and lead their people through those experiences. This is why, as I teach and have taught, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's son, Imam Wallace Dean Muhammad, turned against his father. Because his father told him, you need the same experience as every FOI member. They lock you up, stay in jail. His first act of bitterness came because his father wouldn't get him out of jail. So he became bitter, and the bitterness grew because he wanted things that Elijah didn't allow him to have. He thought he was a real prince. Don't get me wrong, he was a prince, but he was one of the 7 princes. The only reason he was looked upon is because Farah Muhammad, when he was a little boy, said, he'll be the one to succeed you. So Elijah took the time to do what? To groom him. Sent him to Arabia to learn what? Arabic. And to learn more about Islam. Sent him around the world so he can learn to be what? A world leader. Only to come back and do what? Defect. Turned on his father. Blasphemed his daddy's name. Isn't that right? I'm like you. I hope you like me. If I found out anything about my father that I thought was bad, you wouldn't know about it.
That's right.
That's right.
That'd be between he and I and God.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
That's right.
I don't know what Elijah did. I'm going to be honest.
Yes, sir.
If he did do what he said he did, I told people years ago, that was between him and Clara. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm looking at the man's work.
There you go.
Right.
Isn't that right?
That's right.
See, we're blinded by the action. What about the man's experience in his work? What he did in his personal life doesn't affect me.
That's right.
That's between he and his wife. I said the same thing, although didn't support him, about President Clinton.
Right.
Right.
When Monica Lewinsky came, what the hell do with me?
That's right.
That's between him and Hillary.
That's right.
Yeah.
All I want to know is what the man is doing to black people.
Right.
I don't care what he's doing to no white woman in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
It got nothing to do with me.
Right.
First.
And if I was in the Oval Office, I'd turn around and walk out. See, we focus on the what? Wrong thing. That's our biggest problem. So I hear, and I bring that up because I hear brothers sometimes try to degrade the messenger's name like that. They do it, they still do it, and I ask them, I'm the first, what they got to do with anything, brother? Well, you know, brother, he was supposed to be upright. Nigga, all of us supposed to be upright.
That's right.
Yeshua said, he who without sin cast the first stone. I don't look at no man or woman to be perfect. I look at their work experience. Isn't that right?
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
That's what I look at, their work experience. What have you done? That would mean something to me.
That's right.
Not your slips and falls, because I got my own slip and fall.
Right.
See, we judge each other
Yeah.
unjustly.
That's right.
True.
Isn't that what we do?
Yes.
We do it all the time. But experiences gives you knowledge and understanding that no one is better than the other one. No one is more perfect than the other one. Because when you go through life, you find out what? Oh, I got my own issues and problems.
That's right. That's right.
Isn't that right?
That's right.
And if you haven't experienced that, then you haven't truly lived. Because life is the best teacher. Let's go to this proverb here. On the screen, it's an African proverb. All right? I think you missed it. Bring it down. Bring it down. This African proverb. What did they say, brother? Say cool.
Wisdom does not come overnight.
That's true.
Wisdom is the teacher.
That's right.
And the teacher gives you experience. And this experience is not gained overnight. Another problem we have as a people is we think that once we hear something or read something or seen something one time,
We got it. We don't.
can't nobody tell me anything else.
Right.
I know it.
That's true.
It's true. Listen to Negroes. Negroes will hear something on the news and got all the information about what happened. Isn't that right?
Yes,
They can tell you, he did it. How you know he did it? I saw it on the news.
Yeah, that's a classic.
That's a classic one, right?
That's it.
But isn't that how we operate? We got the experience, the knowledge of everything just from hearing it one time,
Yes, sir.
and do not know what took place.
Not at all.
Don't have the actual fact.
Brother shot a state policeman one year.
Yes, sir.
State policeman was in the hood.
Yeah, he was. Most of the
What the state policeman doing in the hood? State police. Y'all see, those of us shaking our head already know he's not supposed to be there, right? State police. The first thing I heard some black people say was, man, y'all see how that young brother, man, messed his life up killing that state policeman. Brother,
What are you doing snatching him at the car?
why was this man in the hood?
Don't something happen.
See, experience of being out there teaches you certain things. So when you hear news, you can already decipher something wrong.
Yeah, some of that.
State policeman wasn't in uniform.
No, there you go. Plain blue.
He snatched the brother out the car.
That's right.
The brother went into what? Self-defense
Self-defense
mode.
mode.
Shot his own gun.
And shot him with his own gun.
His brother had no gun on.
Brother was right.
I,
Brother should have walked.
I agree.
But he didn't have the right experienced politicians out there.
They haven't.
Did y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Right.
To step forward and say, no, this young man is innocent. The police officer was in the wrong.
That's right.
Because we're afraid to challenge now society.
Right.
Yes, sir.
That's the problem we have collectively as a people. We can't defend each other anymore because we don't have the same experiences.
That's true.
If anything happened to a brother in the Nation of Islam or a Hebrew Israelite, although I'm in the SUAN, guess where I'm standing? I'm standing on that side. That's still my brother. I still have that experience of being a black man.
That's right.
And that experience gave me knowledge that no matter what side of the fence we on, that's still my brother.
That's right. That's right.
We've lost that experience. And that's why we're no longer what? United.
That's right.
Oh, well, we got a long way to go.
Going back.
We want instant this and instant that. It's called today instant gratification. It doesn't come. There's no such thing as instant gratification. And anything that's instant is what? Unnatural. I like the oatmeal you pour it out of the bag, put water in it, put your seasoning in it, your cinnamon, your brown sugar, and stir it up and got to watch it and it bubble a little bit. And you stir it some more to make it so it won't stick, right? Queen Son, I tell you, you won't give me a pack of instant oatmeal where you pour it in a cup and add water and that's it. No, I got to let mine do its natural thing. Isn't that right?
That's right.
See, what we want is we want the experience without the work. We want the experience without putting in the time. We want instant gratification. And all that instant stuff is filled with what? Instant sugar. Bingo. That's how they get you. Let's go to the next. Let's go to the next one, Prince. Queen Son laughing because she know me. Yeah. See, she on the instant. I'm natural.
Oh, that's it.
You know me. All right, let's go to the meta-netta. All right, page 114. Yes, sir.
The evolved man directly experiences.
The evolved, the developed, evolved, expanded in mind. Man, male or female, directly, first-handed. Then you got to get it first-hand, right? First-handedly experiences, goes through. In other words, to evolve, you have to have first-hand experience. Hands-on, right? Back in the day, when we applied for a job, all you needed was a high school diploma. And they gave you what? On-the-job training. If you were taught, meaning you were knowledgeable or teachable, that's what a high school diploma was supposed to have been. You were one who has learned. Then you had the mindset for us to give you the experience on the job training you. Today, you have to have a degree in the field. And in order to get the job with the degree, you have to have some type of experience. You see how they keep you back? Now, how am I going to get the experience? I got the degree.
Sometimes you got too much education.
That's what they're saying. I have the degree, but I don't have the experience. I just got out of school.
But you're too smart now, though.
You see how they play a trick on you? Knowledge and experience is supposed to go together. Now they want to give you the knowledge, and then they'll say to you, but you don't have the experience.
Right.
So you need experience with your knowledge. That is true. But the way the devil set it up is to keep you further back.
That's right.
You can be a supervisor back in the day. A manager. All you needed was a high school diploma.
Yeah.
Now to be the same supervisor and manager, you need a degree. For me back in the day. Isn't that right?
That's right.
Because back in the day, in the early 80s, when I stepped into management, $10 an hour.
Yeah.
That was good money back in the day. They still paying you $10 an hour.
I made that in Vietnam. $10 an hour. Driving a Richmond Transit.
That's what they're paying you now for management. $9 to $10 an hour.
That's right.
And required
And we
degree.
supposed to get ahead that way?
See, when you build your own nation off your own experiences, you can pay yourself. And you pay yourself what you're worth. Isn't that right, sister? That's what Elijah Muhammad and Marcus Garvey did. They built their nation through their own experiences, and therefore they were able to distribute to themselves what was needed. They didn't have to ask Mr. Charlie for one raise or one dime.
That's right.
They had an economy.
That's right.
And the economy sustains the nation.
Yeah.
So when the nation build a school, you don't have to worry about how you're going to pay your school teachers, how the children will get their textbooks or their supplies. We got our own money circulating here,
That's right.
running through our own veins of our community.
Do for self.
That's the experience.
That's right.
Let's move on to the book of James, chapter 1, verse 22. Experience is the greatest teacher. We need her. But we have to go through something. Yes, sir. This is a
James 1:22. Can you make it bigger? But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only,
That's right.
deceiving your own selves.
That's right.
If you say you believe in it, do it. Do it means, again, experience it. The Most High don't want you to believe in something and not have the experience of what you believe in. He said, I don't need hearers only.
Right. That's right.
I need doers. Because when you sit here hearing and say you believe it and you don't do it, you're deceiving yourself.
Amen.
Isn't that right? If you believe in it, but you don't do it,
That's right.
you are the deceiver.
Yeah.
That's right. Deceiving yourself.
Do we believe in building a nation?
That's
For all who say, yes, sir, we can build a nation. We're going to build a nation. SUA ain't going to have this nation. Everybody got to have a nation, blah, blah, blah. If you don't believe in it and don't do it, you're deceiving yourself.
That's right.
That's what the Most High is saying.
Oh, wow.
So we keep talking about the Word because the Word of God covers everything. Don't you know the majority of the Bible doesn't cover anything about going to heaven? The majority of the Bible covers what you get right here on earth.
That's right.
See, people don't see when you listen to these uneducated, unexperienced Negroes in the Bible. The Bible talk about going to heaven. The Bible is a fairy tale. The majority of the Bible, over 80% of the Bible, talks about your here and now.
That's right.
Everything you go through from the Old Testament up to Yahshua, he's talking about economical building, kingdom building, feeding the poor, clothing and what? Naked. That is physical activity.
Tell it.
Doing it right here. Having your own experience of running your own nation.
That's right.
Over 80% of the Bible talks about the here and now. It don't tell you all throughout the Bible about going down and going to heaven. It talks about your well-being on earth.
Yes.
Read it over. Check it out and challenge me on it. Been studying it and teaching it and reading it for 35 plus years. I'm telling you what the book is telling you. How to sustain your life. The Most High gave you in the books of Leviticus and in Numbers and in the Quran a dietary law. What does it mean? I'm trying to keep you healthy so you can live here.
That's right.
Most High wasn't worrying about you quickly dying and bringing you back to himself. He was trying to give you longevity and trying to give you longevity here. Why? So you can enjoy life here.
Yeah, on earth.
That's right. Have that experience.
So the book says, beloved, I wish of all things that you would what? Be in good health and prosper.
That's right.
Have life.
Have prosperity. But I want you to be in good health to enjoy your prosperity. As I say, what good is it for me to become a millionaire and I can't breathe because I'm in poor health and somebody rolling me around in a wheelchair with an oxygen machine and I got all the money in the world? What good is that if I can't get up and run
No.
Come on, brother.
and walk on my own two legs?
No good.
Yes, sir.
Got people coming in a big mansion waiting on you day in and day out, feeding you and bathing you.
Yes, sir.
That's not intended for you.
Right.
So the Most High gave you a dietary law for what? Your physical well-being, that you can last long on the earth.
Yes, sir.
He even told you, a man and woman should see what? Their children and their children's children. He goes on to how many generations you should see them. You shouldn't just be a grandparent and a great-grandparent. We're supposed to be great-great-great-great-grandparents.
That's right. That's right.
4 to 5 generations
Yes, sir.
shall pass through our eyesight. And here we going, 40 and 50.
Don't see no one, John.
Isn't that right?
That's right.
Some of us don't see that one,
Sit
Baba.
down, sit down.
Yes.
That's right.
Because we are what? We don't have the experience, the knowledge of knowing what to eat and how to live.
Yes, sir.
So we eat everything that's out there, drink everything that the man puts out there, smoke everything. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Been there, done that.
They think we conscious. Innocent. Brown liquor. Like we saying something. Liquor, nigga. All of it is kill you, won't it? What is good liquor? Somebody tell this black man what good liquor is. What is a healthy liquor? Come on, somebody. What is it? Come on, I just try to make sense of things. What is a healthy liquor? What is good liquor? Huh? All of it is called rot gut. That's the old name for it. Why? It'll rot your gut. Isn't that right?
It's poison.
It's poison. Like when people used to tell me about marijuana, y'all heard me teach on it. Okay, I know it's a good what? Plant. And it's a herbal plant and it's a medicinal plant. But what is good smoke? How do good smoke pass through your lungs?
You just can't do it.
When smoke, any kind of smoke,
All smoke.
will close up what? Those air sacs. Give you emphysema, lung cancer, breathing problems, and COPD and asthma and this and that. There is no good smoke.
Ain't no good smoke.
What is healthy smoke?
I tried it. Ain't no good smoke.
That's why I've been trying to figure out when people talk about that. What is healthy smoke? Somebody please tell me.
It don't work. I'm 50 years. That's right.
I've never seen the FDA pass any type of literature saying such and such smoke is good smoke.
You say bad for your health.
It is good for your lungs and your bones.
Surgeon General said bad for your health.
It's bad for your health.
Yes, sir.
Right? So if we have the knowledge and use everything in the manner in which it should be used,
It might work for you.
it will work properly.
Yes, sir.
There's yin and yang
Yeah.
to everything, right?
Yes, man.
A good side to this and a bad side to it.
That's how you use it.
It's how you use it. It's how it's made. It's what it's used for.
Hey,
Isn't that right?
hey.
That's experience. That's what we need. Let's go to the book of Proverbs. Not Proverbs, it's a proverb, but we're going to the book of Job. All right? Proverb and a Job. African proverb and the book of Job. All right, bring it right there. See, me and Sana need to get that experience of handling that computer.
Call it straight. You do it every Sunday.
All right. Don't say cool.
Eggs cannot teach a hen.
All right.
African proverb. And Elihu, the son of Barashel, the Buzite, answered and said, I am young and ye are very old. Wherefore I was afraid and dare not show you my opinion. Ignorance. I said, days should speak, and multitude of years should teach wisdom. Job 32, 6 and 7.
I'll show you. The egg cannot teach the hen. See, one of our failures in the black community is that we who are younger think we know everything
Yes, Lord.
than those who are older and those who are more experienced. Isn't that right? That's a big problem. Y'all know that's a big problem in the black community today.
Yes, it is.
But from the book of Job, he tells the story about Elihu, the son of Barachel. All right, that's a European spelling. It's Barak, which means blessed, and El is God. All right? Barachel, the son of Barachel, is speaking. He said, I didn't want to speak because I'm younger. I didn't want to show you my ignorance. In other words, I respect the elder person.
That's right.
He said, days, age, should teach wisdom.
Yes, sir.
I don't have wisdom to teach age. Days need to teach me. I just came in yesterday, but he's been here for days. She's been here for days. Let that experience teach me about life. I don't have no life to teach experience.
That's right.
That's why our young people are dying in the streets.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because we haven't given them our life experience of how to respect our elders and how to listen to clear instruction. Isn't that right?
That's right.
We have not taught them how to respect. So they don't know what it feels like to work respect towards one who is older than themselves. Because that's a work.
That's right.
You haven't given them that experience. Because we teach our children, don't listen to nobody but me. You don't have to worry about what he or she say. Isn't that what we do? So the child's mind is, you don't mean nothing to me. You're not my mama. You're not my daddy. I don't need to respect you. I don't need to listen to you. I don't need to hear the instructions you're trying to give me.
That's right.
That's what we do. Am I right or wrong? And that's what destroys the black nation. We're not giving the next generation our experiences. I appreciate my parents, peace be upon them, because as a child growing up, all I heard was their experiences. And their experiences made me leery of a lot of things in life. They told me, they didn't hide, but they told me of their experiences with white folks.
Yes, sir.
Way down here,
Yes.
my ears were getting it. So every time I went out in public, I was able to look at them with caution.
That's right.
Because I heard my family's experience. Then I had the opportunity to do what? Be tested and tried and take risks through my own experiences. And found out Mom and Dad was telling me the truth.
They told you right.
They told me right.
Yes, sir.
They used to say, as a child, if I did something wrong, come back here. And I would quickly run to them. But then I got a certain age when you start hitting what they call those so-called teens. They would look at you. Didn't I tell you so-and-so? And you, yes, ma'am, and no, sir. I mean, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. But, you know, I'm make sure I'm careful and this and that. They no longer called you back. What did they do then? They said, go ahead on.
Let you try for yourself.
Go ahead.
They would say, you'll learn. You'll learn, meaning you will experience. Isn't that right? And sure enough, you went out, you learned, and you experienced. And you came back to find out how true their words were and how much it weighed. See, we don't allow our children, don't get me wrong, some experiences your child needs.
That's right.
We're overprotective now. We don't want our children to experience anything. But the experience is the best teacher. My parents knew I didn't know certain things as a little one, so through experience, they thought, stay away from that boy. He too small. He too soft. See, that's when they were telling you about them little ones that had a little shake.
Little sugar.
That boy act like a little girl. Don't play with him. Isn't that right? He a little sweet. They would say little things like that you picked up. See, we don't want to tell our children that anymore. We don't want to give them that experience. So now they run with them.
I tell them.
Then they come home later telling you, I love this other boy.
Oh, no.
Or, Mama, I love a girl.
Get your head chopped off.
Where you get that experience from? From society, because you didn't give them the experience of what you know. So society gave them another experience. Isn't that right?
Yes.
You can't turn on a black film or a black show nowadays without them showing you black people in same-sex relationship. But instead of looking at our children and saying, honey, son, you know that crap is wrong, right? We don't partake of that.
That's right.
We try not to say anything because we don't want to hurt our children's feelings. Or we don't want them to say the wrong thing around the wrong person. I want my child to say the right thing around the wrong person. That's why Queen and Son and I taught them when they were small. Everything I'm telling you is what we told them. So when the teachers had a problem and called us, we went down there. Seriously. We went down there and we said, what's the problem? And I sat back. She did most of the talking. Because you know the black man can be threatening.
Indeed.
So when the teacher said such and such, Queen and Son said, so what's the problem? Then they look shocked like, you didn't hear what I said? Yes, we heard. What's the problem? Well, you know, we teach such and such and such and such. And we let it go on. And Queen and Son said, that's true, but in our home, this is what we teach. And she laid down the law. That's what we have to do. So brothers and sisters, we have to let the days, the experience teach us, or we would never learn.
Right.
So speaking again of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, isn't it, brother, to be the amazing how so many brothers, Johnny come latelys, young brothers, who now bad-mouthing Elijah Muhammad and what he taught and what didn't work and what he couldn't do and all. This man had experience. What do you have? Nothing whatsoever. That's why I don't listen to brothers and sisters like that. All right, let's go to the wisdom text. The last scripture we're going to touch on is the wisdom text. We're on page 53 of the wisdom text.
The practice and perfection of action affords a human being the opportunity to purify his or her heart. This leads to a life of peace, harmony with nature, in society, and ultimately to spiritual enlightenment as well. Positive karma.
All right, I'll show you. Practice and action is what? Experience. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Practice and action is getting experience. You cannot learn without doing. If you don't do it, you don't know it. I don't care how much you read about it, how much you watch videos on it. If you don't do it, you do not know. I have two brothers in here that been in the military that I know of.
Yes, sir.
Baba Musa and Brother Brisbane back here.
Yes, sir.
Both of them, excuse me, got a little choke. Been in the military.
That's right.
They can tell me how to use a military weapon. They can show me a video. When am I going to learn how to do it, brother?
When you put it in your hand.
When you put it in my hand,
That's right.
and I do what with it?
Use it.
I have to use it.
You got it.
I have to break it down.
Yes, sir.
I have to put it back together.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
I have to know how to what? Aim it.
Yeah.
I have to know how to not only aim it, how to what? Hold it.
Hold it. And use it.
Now, I'm talking military weapons. All right? But I used to hunt. And the first thing they show you when you go hunting as a child, as a youth, is how to properly position that gun
On your shoulder.
right there in that shoulder, how to hold it,
Yeah.
and how to what?
Breathe.
Aim
Aim it,
it. Yeah. Yeah.
and not jerk it.
There you go.
Isn't that right?
But if someone will kick you, you know what I'm saying?
Someone will kick you.
Yeah.
You have to have a good grip. You have to make sure it's based there. You got to know how to what? Look over that sight.
Yeah, down.
Isn't that right?
Keep down the side. That's right.
How not to hold it too low?
Not too high.
And there you go. Too high. There's a art, a science, a skill to everything.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
But that's a hunting rifle.
That's right.
It's not a military assault rifle.
No.
No, not at all.
Which some people think, well, a gun is a gun.
That's what they wrong.
No. They fire
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah.
They have different amount of what? Power. Recoil. Right? So I have to learn, although that's what I'm talking about. When you think you know something, you have to study more in order to get the full knowledge and understanding. That's what we need. So experience is repetition. Doing it over and over and over until you have completed it. Meaning you got it right.
That's right.
Now you can start on another course. But we as a black people cannot get it right until we finish one course first. We have to finish one course. Where are we going? That's the thing. The future is the most important thing.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm here for the long haul.
Amen.
I'm not trying to die tomorrow and go to heaven.
Not at all.
If heaven is heaven, heaven is eternal.
Yeah.
Right.
This is why I want longevity right now.
Right here.
So tomorrow I'm thinking about today I'm thinking about tomorrow. What is the future? And in order for me to do that, I have to look at the experiences of my ancestors,
Right.
listen to the experience of my elders, understand the experiences I already have gone through, that I may better serve myself and my people to build a future. I know what it's like to work for the white man. I have years of that experience. We don't want our children to work for him. But when you build a nation for the first year, you send them to work for the white man. Why? That they may have their own experience. And therefore, when they step into their nation, they can better serve because they'll know what it means to have their own. But if you bring them directly into the nation, they will not have that experience. And they'll spoil everything you give them because they don't understand what it means to have to work for the enemy. So I told my children a long time ago, if I ever became a millionaire, that night, Queen and Son, I said I would establish businesses and you all will run them. But before you run them, you're going to work for the white man. That was before they even came out of school. And I still want them to do that, and blessed now they have that experience. So when they step into what we have from that experience, they can hold on to it. They will respect it. They'll understand what it means to operate mine because I work for him and his.
Right.
That's what we need to do.
That's right.
Experience, brothers and sisters, is the very, very best teacher. Without it, the only thing we're going to do, Brother Tabidi, is fail. Ashe?